Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay and joining me once again is Tim Newton.
We're doing the t-shirts today.
We are representing DKNY. Do they still make t-shirts?
This is a Thai t-shirt. I got it around about 15 years ago.
Yes.
It was one of the, I called them the ubiquitous 100 baht t-shirts because you could go to all these t-shirt shops and they were always 100 baht. Why I'm wearing this is I've sort of, in the last year, I've grown a little bit and put on weight, in other words. But this one still fits me. So I'm wearing this as a badge of honour. It's sort of the equivalent of my bridal dress after 20 years. It fits!
Yeah, everyone who's ever been to Thailand has a t-shirt from 15 years ago when they last visited. So.
The ones I have saying same but different don't fit anymore.
I see. Right, so in today's episode we will be discussing Onlyfans, the reopening delay once again, and finally a new change in the law for the disease law in Thailand. So let's start off today, Tim, firstly.
Can I just mention one thing?
Yes.
Yesterday I was saying, tastes like water when I was discussing the coffee culture cup of coffee. But in fact, what I was joking about was, in fact, it was water that I was drinking from, and I was not making any allusions to the quality of the fine coffee culture coffee. In fact, the coffee culture coffee is excellent.
Amazing.
Just very briefly, it comes in these two fine packets, and we've got the link underneath, and we've made a little advertisement, or Jason's made a little advertisement for them today, so thank you to Coffee Culture.
Right. Moving on. So the first topic for today, Tim, is OnlyFans. OnlyFans coming back. But
I've called this the not so happy ending.
Right. In a not so happy ending, 19-year-old OnlyFans star in Thailand, Nong Khai Nao, and her boyfriend, Kun Korakut, have been arrested. Now, why have they been arrested? Here is a little bit more news, but first have a look at this video.
Well, there they are going into the room.
Right.
The fact that the police are so concerned about this is what I find amazing. But yeah, let's keep the information going.
Right, so the couple face quite a few charges. However, they have been arrested for the production and distribution of obscene content. They could face up to 3 years in prison and a fine of $1,800, which is around 60,000 baht. What they were actually doing were, on their private account, on their approved account.
They were having sex.
They were having sex on
and
camera.
filming it.
Yes, film yourself and put it on the internet. But hey, your choice, you do you. Why should you get arrested for it?
Well, to be clear,
yes,
that's basically the business model of a lot of the OnlyFans content.
True. Times have changed. Normally you would never want a picture of yourself on the internet doing anything stupid or silly. However, OnlyFans allows you to express yourself in a way that you've never before.
I found
all the power to you, by the way.
I found your account here, so I'm just going to show people your page.
What do you mean? I thought it was private. God damn it. Right. Thai activists and people in the Twitter sphere have been going crazy because a lot of people do agree with the fact that why are these people getting arrested? And
I think it's trending number 1 on Twitter, by the way.
Yes.
What's the hashtag? Hashtag
Khao Nai Now.
In Thai.
Yes. And a lot of people, and I agree with the fact that what they're doing, regardless of whether it's right or wrong or okay or not okay, why are they being arrested for this? Especially in Thailand, where there's so many other things and so many other people that should be arrested for.
So it's okay to go and get a soapy massage. That's apparently legal. Well, it's probably illegal, but it happens. You can watch a live sex show.
Yes.
Males, females, females and females, males and whatever you like. I've heard some other versions of that as well. You can even hire a prostitute from a bar in different parts of the country, but you can't have sex, consensual sex, at an age of 19 and 20 in a private room and film that and sell it. I think what the police are showing here is a high degree of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the Twitter sphere has been going crazy about, is that the police, why are they worried about this?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, if you want to find OnlyFans content, there are tens of thousands of Thai people who are taking advantage of the opportunity to make a little bit of extra cash, some of it a lot of extra cash, on platforms like OnlyFans.
Right. Let me just get into some comments to get a Thai perspective of what the people have been saying around Twitter and around this topic. I have a commenter here saying, police arrested some sex workers who earn their money legally on a legal platform with legal identity verification processes, but seem to let go of people who are rapists and force their victims to accept compensation for it. Another user says, here I am in a country that sees filming sex for a certain group of people as a crime. Another commenter adding, but those who commit corruption and attempt murder can get away with it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I got a couple of comments as well. Corruption and rape seem to be fine, but not to people using a video camera in the privacy of their own homes. This comment is a little bit more pointed. It says, it seems to be okay for police to take bribes for sex shows and pimps in the red light districts and turn a blind eye to the exploitation and open prostitution in Pattaya, but it's okay to go for two soft targets who are filming a consensual sex act. Allegedly, a pretty heavy-handed comment there, but certainly this Nong Kai Now hashtag is going crazy, and people feel quite strongly about this. Why are the police targeting these people when there seem to be a lot of other much more serious crimes happening around the country? Right. A lot of it is using this, what's called the Computer Crimes Act. And the Computer Crimes Act has sort of been introduced in the past couple of years to target just about anything the Thai government doesn't like.
That's right.
If they decide they don't like a protester or they don't like some comments about the Thai monarchy, they seem to use this Computer Crimes Act as a very harsh, blunt tool to control free speech.
That's right, Tim. Officially, yes, you're right. They have been arrested for violating Section 14 in brackets 4 and 5 of the Thailand's heavily contested Computers Crime Act, which has a penalty of 5 years in prison and a fine.
Now, the Royal Thai Police yesterday said that people who identify themselves as what they call porn hubbers or sex creators would face a stiff penalty. They could have used a better term there, for persuading others to engage in sexual activity and violating the Computer Crimes Act. I think the whole thing is a storm in a teacup. I'm annoyed that we're having to talk about it, but this is the sort of hypocrisy that we see in a lot of the government and police areas, where they seem to focus their attention on things that some of us think are probably not that important.
Tim, I just want to ask you, whether, people have their opinions about OnlyFans and what creators do on OnlyFans, but it's a bit silly to get arrested for something that someone is willing to do online. Isn't it their choice? Do whatever you want on your own OnlyFans account, and it's not like anyone can just have access to it. You have to subscribe. You have to be a certain age. So why is this being blown out of proportion? Why have they targeted these people?
I think in the media we call it deflection.
Okay.
So it stops people, focuses their attention on this matter rather than on perhaps other serious matters. And the whole Twitter sphere and people online are getting their jollies by the police, the government, where, of course, the government might be doing things and the police might be doing things that perhaps deserve more attention. So, yeah, we call it diversion.
All right.
But the fact that it was filmed and the arrest was filmed and it's been blown all over Thai media, real storm in a teacup stuff.
The cameras were ready to capture every moment.
Of the arrest.
Of the arrest, yes. Of the arrest.
We should mention that last month, OnlyFans, they were rumouring that they were going to remove all the sexual content from their platform. But they reversed that decision once they realised that about 95% of their business was made up from that sort of content. So they quickly reversed their decision. A company in the UK, by the way, it's a UK-based company. Of course, it's not only OnlyFans, it's You can record a video and put it on any social media,
Yes.
but some of them have got tighter controls than others. Or you can just share it privately with people who subscribe to you.
Right. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and after returning from the break, we're going to be talking about the reopening delay once again, as well as a change for the disease law in Thailand. We'll be back right after this. Hello and welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. Tim, it's now time to talk about the reopening and its continual delay. It's delay after delay after delay. Now, it has not been confirmed. However, the reopening plan for 5 provinces might be delayed once again to the start of November.
If you thought you were confused before, this will just add to your confusion about if and when
Yes.
different parts of Thailand are going to open.
And this is again because they're afraid that the provinces will fall short of a 70% vaccination rate for the residents. The 5 affected provinces, which are due to reopen next month, that are affected are Chiang Mai, Chonburi, Phetchaburi, Prachuap Khiri Khan, and Bangkok. Right. So Kun Thanet Petsuwan, who is the Deputy Director for Communications and Marketing at the TAT, Tourism Authority of Thailand, said that the October plan may be postponed to November 1 because the condition that each area must inoculate 70% of its population will probably not be met by the 26th, so they're going to delay it an extra week.
So the code is that the Public Health Department have rung the TAT and said, guys, you focus your attention on advertising Thailand as a tourist destination. We'll work out the when these areas can open.
Right.
Obviously, there's been quite a lot of toing and froing between these departments and a lot of misspeaking by various people. But at the moment, it looks like it's going to be early November before we can look at any of these areas being open. And it also depends on the numbers keeping on creeping down and the inoculation rates rising. Do we want to clarify some numbers we broadcast yesterday?
Yes. So yesterday we said that 42% of residents in Bangkok have been double vaccinated, and we had a comment who said otherwise. What exactly did they say?
Well, they said that that they'd only received one jab, 42%.
Yes.
But no, the information we got was directly from the government, from
Yes.
the NBT,
Yes.
and also from the Bangkok Post. So
Right.
it looks like, I think it was
1.9.
41.9% of Bangkok residents
Yes.
have been double vaccinated. So we can confirm that.
Yes, but we need that number to reach 70% before all these reopenings happen, which, as of now, seems to be around November 1.
So just looking at the numbers yesterday, I think there was another 200,000 people who got vaccinations in Bangkok yesterday. So, I mean, to try and get up to
70% is going to be a little difficult.
even by the early November.
But hey, I hope they make it. I would. It would be great if they can reach that number. So, go for it, Thailand.
I think the idea is what they're saying is when they say reopen, they're going to allow people to come back to the country without having to do quarantine.
Yes.
This has been the huge sticking point. And so by allowing people to come back and visit these areas, by being vaccinated, they'll probably have to have the PCR tests. They'll have to get a certificate of entry if we've still got the what's the policy? The emergency decree in place.
Yes.
But if that's lifted, maybe we can get rid of the COE as well. So little by little, Thailand is slowly reopening, and certainly seems to be a commitment from the government for the country to reopen. That seems to be the backing of all these changes and all these decisions and all this speculation that Thailand is trying to reopen.
Right, and this leads to our final topic for today, which is the disease law set for change. What I mean by this is that the Cabinet has approved a draft amendment, Tim, to the 2015 Communicable Disease Act, seen as a new mechanism to replace the emergency decree in the country's ongoing battle against COVID-19. Now,
Well, I was going to say, behind all that, what they're saying is by the end of this month, they're hoping to drop the emergency decree,
Yes.
which they were extending month by month from
Yes.
April last year.
Yeah.
And it was a way that the government could make quick, instant decisions to control the COVID situation and how they open the borders. They didn't have to go to Parliament. So if they do revoke the emergency decree, they'll then have to use an act of Parliament,
Yes.
the Communicable
The
Diseases
CCSA.
Act.
Yes.
And then the double CSA will probably be abandoned or changed to a group that will operate under a parliamentary privilege.
Right. And this affects the CCSA because under this new Section 7 of the emergency decree, it will no longer actually exist if this is changed. So I'm guessing it will be, it'll be a different department. It will still exist in its own way and the purpose of the CCSA. However, it'll have to be rebranded.
Yes, they'll get somebody to make a new logo and they'll buy some new chairs and some new coffee cups. And it'll be a different body, but obviously Thailand still needs a body of people to make the decisions about how Thailand opens. Importantly, as we mentioned yesterday, it's about getting rid of the restrictions. People are not going to come back to Thailand as a tourist destination if Bangkok remains as it is.
Right.
If all these other areas, some of them are currently dark red zone areas, some of them are still under curfew. So all that's going to have to disappear before any self-respecting tourist is going to come back to the country.
Right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay with Tim, and if you're still with us, good on ya. Let's talk a little bit about the weather. Now, it is still a very gloomy day in Phuket. It has been gloomy for a week. We've had heavy rainfall, but Tim was telling me this morning that the wet season has been wetter than ever. Tim?
Well, I speculated
Yes.
that I believe this year's wet season has been wetter than some others in the past. Part of that was because I went to the Bangawad Dam, which is the big water catchment in the middle of Phuket, and that has been a barometer of the amount of rain we're getting. So I suppose it also is a bit of a barometer on the number of tourists on the island, because in like 2018, 2019, when we were getting up to 1 million tourists arriving each month on this tropical island, obviously the amount of water being used was much higher, and that case doesn't exist at the moment. So the fact that the Bangawad Dam was over-brimming, it was over full, was a big surprise to me, and I thought, maybe we've had extra rain this year, but there might be other parts adding to that particular situation. But the Weather Bureau says that the thunder showers are likely over the country, with isolated heavy rains in the north, the northeast, the central region, including Bangkok and its vicinities, and the southwest coast, which pretty much
covers all of Thailand.
Is like it's going to be raining in Thailand. So if you're wondering what the weather's going to be like in your particular area over the next few days, I think we can say that there's a monsoonal trough over the country.
Who was that? Sorry, who was that statement by that you just read out?
The Thai Meteorological Department.
I see. It's like that time when you're writing an essay in university and you've got 50 words left and you don't want to say all of Thailand, so you type out north, south, northeast, south.
The central region,
yeah.
including Bangkok and its vicinity. Anyway, so thunder showers and some rain. I also mentioned, just in passing, my hometown, Melbourne in Australia, suffered an earthquake last night.
In Victoria?
In Victoria. So around Melbourne and the southern areas, I got a lot of texts from friends and family saying, yeah, their world was rocked last night, and I think it was a magnitude 6 earthquake.
Oh, okay.
That's very unusual for Melbourne. Very, very unusual. So hope everybody's safe. I don't think there are any reports of major damage, but just in passing, I noted that.
Right, that's all we have for the show today. If you do have any comments or feedback for us, please leave it in the comment section below. Click like and subscribe to the channel if you liked our episode today. Thank you to Coffee Culture for sponsoring our coffee and these beautiful mugs that you can find at www.coffeeculture.asia.com. Limited to only 100 cups. Get them while they last. As for me, I'd like to thank Tim for joining us to the show today.
That's my pleasure. This is take 2, by the way, because the first time he did, he forgot my name.
I know nothing what he's talking about. Thank you, Jason, for being behind the buttons. And thank you all for watching the show today. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.